All right, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechakodash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and who teach well. Much peace and mercy to the hopeful elect. This is your brother Yashar, and this is going to be a in transit video. And this is going to be through the Spirit. We are in 2026. The year of apostasy, agents, and sellouts. And, currently in the beginning of this year, we have a lot of things happening, a lot of breaking news stemming from Babylon the Great with this invasion in Venezuela. Some more information is coming out that America will be seizing some oil tankers, I believe. One that's carrying oil and one that's not, basically, America is trying to station themselves within Venezuela and get that money, man. They're trying to get their oil, sell the oil, and profit off of the Venezuelan oil. He lied. They're lying and telling the people that this is going to benefit the Venezuelan people. But we know through prophecy and the characteristics of Esau, Edom, that this is all a farce to gain control, gain power over these other nations. And we believe that through the Spirit, this is one step closer towards WW3, because, the nations are going to be angry at something. Right? And it could be this reason. They're trying to go into Greenland now. They're trying to they said that I was reading an article. Basically, Greenland is in the scope of America, Babylon the Great, and they said that there were several means of trying to obtain Greenland. One was military force buying Greenland, and then also basically turning the people of Greenland against those who are governing it. And those last two options are going to fail. They're not gonna do that. So, because you gotta think about it, due to prophecy, Genesis 27:40 says that, and by thy sword shalt thou live. Esau, they try their best to do politics and diplomacy and things like that, and it never works because their strong suit is the sword. So when all else fails, they just fuck it. They just throw the sword at the other nations, and they think that it works in their benefit. However, now we're witnessing that Yahweh Shemel Shai is making Esau bare. You see, these different things that Esau Edom was doing in the dark, it wasn't really known to the other nations, but now it's being exposed, right? He's being exposed for the devil that he is. He's being exposed being that old serpent, right? Satan, the devil. And as prophets, as men of the Lord, our job is to watch these things, to pay attention and to prophesy, to tell our people, like, look, this is what's happening, this is what's going on. You see, scriptures say, I have set watchmen upon thy walls of Jerusalem that will not hold their peace. Right? Isaiah 62:6. So this is why we report on these different news articles. This is why when breaking news happen, you got brothers making videos about it. You just had I forget the names. I gotta go back and brush up on the information before I go into that topic. But you had two, I think his name is Marcus Rubio, and you had another guy made comments about Venezuela, and they're gonna have talks next week about Greenland, right? So that's coming up. So it's a lot happening. This is only day 8, and it just turned day 8. Really is the 7th day. After midnight, 12 o'clock, there's a new day. So it's only the 8th of January currently when I'm making this video. So We're only 8 supposed days, not even a full 8 days, man. We're all 8 days into this so-called new year, and you got all of this shit happening, man. Why? It's because Yahweh Shem Yahushua is mustering the host of the battle. The angels, the scriptures say that the angels, work on the minds of the people. We got Proverbs where it says that the heart of the king is in the power of the Lord, and as rivers of living water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. I'm paraphrasing. Like I say, I'm quoting scriptures. Right? We see that these nations are about to hate this whore. And imagine America is going into a foreign country, stealing their president and seizing their oil, selling it, this shit is madness, profiting off of their oil in the guise of trying to better their economy, better their system, and all these other things. So, all we got to do is keep watching. All we got to do is keep praying, because the more Esau Edom makes these kind of moves, the closer we are to World War III, like I mentioned earlier. So you want to make sure you stay prayed up, man, and actually, how about Shem Yahushua for more faith, because we're gonna need faith in these last days, man. It's about to get really bad, and it's gonna get worse. Scripture, there's a saying, things are gonna get worse before they get worse, or things are gonna get bad before they get worse. There is no Make America Great Again. And this is the thing. Esau he sees that this is their only way to try and make so-called America great again, by going into these different countries, stealing their resources, and benefiting off of them. Right? So there's that. And then obviously you still have men in Israel, which is, it's quiet so far. It's been quiet, but guaranteed. You had Nate, Bishop Nathaniel, just completely botched Habakkuk, the second chapter, with the thick clay. It ain't got nothing to do with the nations, man. It's talking about debt, heavy debt, through treasury bonds and things of that nature. America Babylon the Great is laden in heavy debts. And then my understanding is, if you got this much fucking debt to all these different nations, how in your right mind do you think you can afford to buy a whole nother sovereign territory, which is Greenland? Where are you getting this money from? Exactly. So that's how Esau Edom gets down. He prints money, because the money is not backed by anything. The money is not backed by silver or gold. Silver and gold, is a currency, true money. When you go to Genesis, I believe the 13th chapter, the 2nd verse, it tells you gold, silver, and cattle. So all we got to do is keep watching, man. Keep watching, keep praying. Yahweh Shai said it. Watch as well as pray. And hope that ye be counted worthy to be delivered from these days, man. Because you got a lot of men falling out. The elder Manat Zagbat just did a video about one of the head camp members in the Pittsburgh camp. He's no longer within GMS. He's no longer in the truth. See? And this was a while ago, So, men are falling out the truth and, losing the spirit. You got all of these different things happening. And it's because, ultimately, they are of the elect, and Lord willing, we remain faithful and true, sincere to this word and to this gospel, and to our faith in Yahweh Shem Shai. But we don't know who the Lord will have mercy on, man. He said, "I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion." So, if a man fall out of this truth and stop doing the work and come back and do the work, who will be to say he's not going to make it? Now he might not be in the camp, so to speak, but if he's doing the work on his own, that's to be determined. So, but that doesn't mean getting the mindset of, okay, well, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to take like 2 months, 3 months, 4 months off, and then, get my bearings together, come back like I never left. No. Because the scriptures say what they say. I believe it's Luke the 9th chapter. It says, if any man take his hand off the plow, he is not fit for the kingdom of heaven. It is what it is. And that's why I say this is a fearful thing, man. Men that we've labored with, men that we've, fellowshiped with, for years. No longer within the camp, no longer, doing videos, no longer in the truth. So, this is a message to you brothers out there, man. Right? We gotta buckle up, as it is written. Gird up thy loins like a man, for I would demand you gotta gird up your loins. Yeah, we're gonna go through things in the world. We're gonna deal with women problems, family problems, money problems, you name it. This is Babylon the Great. I just had an Edomite woman come up to me at my job, frustrated. This is an Edomite woman, older Edomite woman, saying I just got so much to take care of. I don't know. I'm frustrated, She said, she can't afford her medication, She wants to refinance her car, but she doesn't have the money to do that. She looked at her bank account. Her bank account was overdrawn in the negative, And right now, hours at my job is getting scarcer, more scarce. You see? So, she's panicking, And a lot of these people are panicking. It's not just, oh, yeah, that's not good. Whoa. Yeah. It's out in the middle of the freeway. People are panicking, man. And the only thing that's really keeping these people at bay is the bread circus, distractions, social media, things like that. And the alcohol, the drugs, but it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough, man. Because the scriptures say that, they shall not drink strong drink with the song. I'm paraphrasing. It's not, hey, that strong drink ain't strong enough to keep you distracted anymore. The heavy burden of bills and debt is starting to really become reality for these people, and they're starting to realize they ain't got nothing, and they ain't gonna have nothing. They can't afford a house, they can't afford a nice car, they can't afford to live by themselves. People are shacking up, man. Family, people going back to living with their family, splitting the bills because it's that bad. It's that bad. It's that bad. This is why we are grateful for the brotherhood. This is why we are grateful for Yahweh Shem Shai for letting us know that things are going to get worse. But guess what? Through faith in Yahweh Shem Shai, we have nothing to worry about. Because the Lord, it says, take no thought what you shall eat, what you shall drink, what you shall wear, for all these things do the Gentiles look after. For your Father in heaven know what you need. Man, the Lord created us, man. Yahweh Shemel Shai knows what we need. He knows how shitty this kingdom is. We're in the toes of iron and miry clay, man. The shittiest kingdom in existence. This is the shittiest kingdom in existence. You know, and this is something I mentioned to one of the brothers at the camp a while back. Like, you know, you had the head of gold, the silver, chest of silver, you know, the thigh of brass and the leg of iron, right? So these different metals diminished. Gold was precious, silver is precious. Brass is not as precious, but you know, it has its properties. It's stronger, right? Iron, strongest, but it has not as much value. And then you get all the way down to the fucking feet. It's iron and miry clay. You know? A substance that's not valuable, and also another substance that's weak. You see? That's why scriptures say it's partly strong and partly weak and partly broken. And you know, something that I had mentioned was your feet is where the toxins come out of your body. You know, obviously, you know, you have different areas within the body, like your armpits, sweat glands, and things like that. But your feet, which is the furthest thing from your head, is where most of your detoxifying happens. That's why this kingdom is so terrible, man. That's why this kingdom is shitty. It literally is shit everywhere, you know, filth everywhere. we're in the feet. So when Yahweh Shai returns, he's gonna destroy that statue, that great stone. You know. So just stay patient, brothers. You know, you sisters as well. You know, this ain't our rest, man. And if you start to believe that, you know, you gotta make it in this place, or you need this, you need that, and then you start to strive to get these things that you think you need in this place, it can derail you from the truth, man. You know? That doesn't mean you can't get you a second job. That doesn't mean you can't get you a second income. That doesn't mean you can't, you know, move up in your particular, you know, workforce. But if you think, oh, well, I gotta make $100,000 a year, I gotta make, you know, I'm trying to be, trying to get comfortable, and I gotta make sure. I'm like, no, man. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. For it is polluted, it will destroy you with a sword destruction. You can't get comfortable in this place, man. If you get comfortable in Babylon, you're the problem. The scriptures say, set a mark upon the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. That mark is a tawah, meaning exemption from judgment. So if you sighing and crying, every time you see a mo, oh my God. Every time you hear a loud ass black woman cackling because she, you know, a Sharkeisha or a Big Shirley, you know what I'm saying? You should be vexed at how these people conduct themselves. That's why I said vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. It vexes righteous soul. You gotta be vexed in this place, man. If you're not vexed in Babylon the Great, you're the problem. You need to reevaluate yourself, because this place is nothing but evil, wicked, filthy, disgusting, all type of manner of just filth, man, from people. You know, somebody pissed in one of the I ain't gonna, you know, say too much, but somebody pissed in some component, I put it like that, at my job, and niggas was trying to crack down because somebody fucking nasty ass pissed in the component, man. I'm gonna put it like that. You know, this is the type of shit that we're dealing with, man. These people are they need guidance. You need a governor. The scriptures say, as the ruler of the people are, so as the ruler is, so is the people. Esau Edom is a nasty, filthy, base creature, base man. So his people, his subjects, his officers are the same. Now, but as it is written, when the righteous are in authority, the people will rejoice. The righteous need to be in authority, man. That's the elect, the nation of Israel. So, like I said, this is just something through the Spirit. I wanted to, touch a few things. I pray Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, this is exhorting and faith boosting. I want to give all praises again to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Shalom.